When love starts to bloom, and then he pulls away. You felt it. Not just in the words or the kisses, but in the quiet between heartbeats. Something was growing. Something real. He smiled deeper. He looked longer. And for a moment, you both breathed in the same dream. Then, without warning, he pulls away. Less text. Less eye contact. Less of everything you just started to trust. And you begin to spiral. Did I say too much? Did I get too close? Was it all in my head? No, beautiful soul. It wasn't in your head. But what's happening is more about him than you. Because sometimes when a man begins to truly fall in love, he meets the part of himself that doesn't know how to receive it. The vulnerability threshold in men. True love, is vulnerable. And vulnerability is not something many men have been taught to move toward. In fact, it's often what they've been taught to fear the most. Carl Jung described the anima, the feminine part of the male psyche, as the bridge to emotion, to softness, to soul. But in men who are disconnected from their emotional body, this anima is suppressed. So when love begins to awaken them, they stand at a threshold. On one side, the safety of self-control. On the other, the surrender of connection. Some step forward, many step it, not because they don't care, but because they don't yet know how to stay open while feeling that much. Love as a mirror of the self. Falling in love isn't just about seeing the other person. It's about being seen. And that's where the unraveling begins. Because love, real love, acts like a mirror. It reflects not only our light, but our shadow. Not just who we are, but who we fear we are not enough to be. So when a man starts to fall in love, he sees himself reflected in your eyes. And it can terrify him. Not because you did something wrong, but because in your gaze, he begins to confront all the ways he's never felt lovable. All the places he's still emotionally hidden. All the parts of him he's never healed. The fear of losing control. For many men, love equals loss of control. Not consciously, but deep within their nervous system, there's an old program that says, to love deeply is to lose myself. So he clings to his routines, his space, his emotional distance. It's not that he doesn't want you. It's that he's terrified of dissolving into something he can't define or predict. And so, as his feelings deepen, he retreats. Because that retreat feels safer than surrender. This is not an excuse, but it's a map. A map of the places where his heart is still learning how to stay. The shadow of emotional intimacy. Emotional intimacy is beautiful, but it also asks something sacred. Presence, softness, transparency. For someone who has spent years armoring up, being the provider, the performer, the protector, to suddenly be seen without all that, it can feel like death to the ego. Jung called this the confrontation with the shadow, where we must meet our inner child, the one who was once rejected, abandoned, or taught that love was conditional. So rather than facing this, many men avoid it. They ghost. They go silent. They blame stress, timing, distance. But beneath it all is a frightened boy who once loved openly and didn't feel safe. And now love has returned. Through what this means for you. If you're here, it's because you felt that disappearing act. That moment where things were beautiful. And then suddenly, you're holding all the emotion alone. But listen carefully. It is not your job to fix this. It is not your work to pull someone through a door they're not ready to walk through. You can hold compassion and still choose yourself. You can understand the psychology and still walk away when your emotional needs are unmet. Because love should not leave you guessing. Closing words, the love that stays. So if he pulled away, let him. Don't chase what disappears. Don't dim your light to soothe someone else's fear of brightness. Let this be your quiet reminder. When a man is ready, truly ready, he will not retreat from real love. He will rise to meet it, and you will feel it. In his presence, his consistency, his calm. Till then, keep loving. But most of all, keep loving you. Because the love that stays starts with the soul that no longer abandons itself.